ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। In our daily Parayanam, this being a beautiful Upanishad, for 4-5 minutes we are doing. Till yesterday we concluded one round of Parayanam of all these three vallis of this Upanishad. Again we start. ॐ अथ कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयारण्यान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ शिक्षां व्याख्यास्यामः वर्णस्वरः मात्राबलं सामसन्तानः इत्युक्तः शिक्षाध्यायः। सहनौ यशः सहनौ ब्रह्मवर्चसम् अथा तस्संहिताया उपनिषदं व्याख्यास्यामः। पञ्चस्वधिकरणेषु अधिलोकमधिज्यौतिषमधिविद्यमधिप्रजमध्यात्मं तामहासंहिता इत्याचक्षते। अथाधिलोकं पृथिवी पूर्वरूपं द्यौरुत्तररूपम् आकाशः सन्धिः वायुः सन्धानम् इत्यधिलोकम् अथाधिज्योतिषम् अग्निः पूर्वरूपम् आदित्यौत्तररूपम् आपः सन्धिः वैद्युतः सन्धानम् इत्यधिज्योतिषम् अथाधिविद्यम् आचार्यः पूर्वरूपम् अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपम् विद्यासन्धिः प्रवचनगं सन्धानम् इत्यधिविद्यम् अथाधिप्रजम् माता पूर्वरूपम् पितोत्तररूपम् प्रजासन्धिः प्रजननगं सन्धानम् इत्यधिप्रजम् अथाध्यात्मम् अधराहनुः पूर्वरूपम् उत्तराहनुरुत्तररूपम् वाक्सन्धिः जिह्वासन्धानम् इत्यध्यात्मम् इति महासंहिताः। य एवमेतामहासंहिता व्याख्याता वेद सन्धीयते प्रजया पशुभिः ब्रह्मवर्चसेनान्नाद्येन सुवर्गेण लोकेन। यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतो अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्याम्भोरिविश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ते वितन्वाना कुर्वाणा चीरमात्मनः वासागंसि मम गावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रियमावह लोमशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा विमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्य सोऽसानि स्वाहा तन्त्वा भगप्रविशानि स्वाहा सामा भगप्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे निभगाहं त्वयि मृजे स्वाहा यथापः प्रवतायन्ते यथा मासा अहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाभाहि प्रमापद्यस्व ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Let us chant the Shanti mantra again and the first three invocatory mantras and go ahead with whatever we studied yesterday from there. ॐ अथ कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयारण्यान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्लीं शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ अथ श्री आद्य शंकराचार्य कृत मंगलाचरण श्लोकत्रयम् ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः. यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं. तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते. Salutations to the entire Guru Parampara, Rishi Parampara, Muni Parampara, Acharya Parampara, Upanishad Acharya Parampara, and our Gotra Rishi Parampara and our Guru Parampara. Salutations to the Parabrahma Tattva, as done by Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Salutations also to our own Ishtadevata. Unless the grace of the Ishtadevata and the Rishi Muni and Guru Parampara is there, we will not get an opportunity to get exposed to this Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya or Upanishad Vidya. But do we deserve it right now that way? From the standpoint of our own outer Vyavahara and inner composition of our mind, straight away for this question the answer is no. With so much of our entanglements outside and non qualifications inside. entanglements outside with so many of the so called involvements or responsibilities or duties, etc. All the time occupied with so many. And inside also with so much of unpreparedness of the bhumika called as antakarana, which is not even recognized by us that there is such thing called as antakarana. And so much into the tamoguna, whenever a possibility, some rajas comes for some arthakama adi, and sattva sometimes comes only to fulfill the rajas tamas. With such inner equipment, can we really study, digest, understand, experience the Brahma Vidya through practice? Again, the direct answer is no. Then what? Then why should we study the class? Because it is only when we attempt for the higher and the greater one that we will know at what level we stand, and we will know that how many struggles we have to do outside and inside, also the sacrifices, so that we become qualified to get benefit of this higher pursuit. And the higher pursuit for us is the highest impossible task of trying to study the Upanishad mantras or Upanishad with the Bhashya Adi, which indicates the ultimate goal. So we understand our outer and inner limitations, and yet we also are recognizing the grace opportunity given by the Lord. And in our attempt, we are trying to better ourselves day by day. We are trying to qualify ourselves day by day to pursue this ultimate. And there is nothing other than beyond the study of the Upanishads which indicate the truth. And there is no greater achievement than recognizing the truth, the substratum which is behind everything that which is seen. Understanding all these limitations of all the sadhakas or the shishyas or the jivas, Bhagavan Adi Shankara, before taking up the bhashya of the Upanishad as such, he in his own avatarika or anubandha bhashya or sambandha bhashya, he has just tried to make us rethink, readjust our personality inner so that we slowly get out of continuously binding life into the liberating with the eternal experience that life. That's the purpose of this Anubandha Bhashya, where he has used some technical words and he has explained some, what do you say, the undertakings which we do. He is trying to disprove them or prove the fallacies in them so that our interest, attention grows for the ultimate, for the greatest, which is there in the Upanishads, which is going to comment or teach us. So he is making us or is giving us such a training by which we are understanding what we are doing so far or right now, and what are the limitations in that, and what is the greater and higher understanding we can have in our life, and what can be the greater pursuit we can pursue in fact. So in this Anubandha Bhashya so far seen, the technical words that are used are the about the three karmas, the arabdha karma, the sanchita karma, agami karma, technical words. Then the words used are the Brahma and the Atma. Then use the words of the Atma Kamitva and Apta Kamitva. Then he used some sentence called as Atma hi Brahma. So each of these sentences, words, when we understand and try to put all of them in proper order, then we'll get a beautiful understanding in us that we are pursuing, which is not fulfilling completely us, rather binding us. And this is the pursuit of Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya through Upanishad, which will give us the final truth, final emancipation, final liberation, final infinitude, which every heart is seeking. So, he is the main 4 5 things which we have to catch is we have to have the Bandhana Raita Anubhava of Ananda. That is achieved only when we experience our Brahma Swarupa. Before the Brahma Swarupa is achieved, we have to achieve the Atma Anubhava Sthiti. Atma Anubhava Sthiti is achieved when the Atma Anubhava Prayatnam is done. Atma Anubhava Prayatnam is done when the Atma Kamana is there. So Atma Kamana is equal to Atma Anubhava Prayatnam. Atma Anubhava Prayatnam is equal to Atma Anubhavam. Atma Anubhavam is equal to the Brahma Anubhavam. Brahma Anubhavam is equal to the limitationless, conditionless, infinite experience of our being. This is what the things to be done. So Atma Kamitva, Atma Prapti Prayatnam, Atma Prapti, Atma Eva Brahma. That Brahma is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. That Brahma Lakshanas will be told in Upanishad. That's the whole subject matter in the Upanishad. And that will be trained to us. How to understand that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yoveda Netam Guhayam Parame Vyoman, So Shrute Sarvan Kaman Sab Brahmana Vipashchiteti. Through all these mantras, when you take the help of Bhasha and the grace of all the rishis, step by step we are going to study. This Upanishad will take at least 5-6 months. Let it take. Slowly we study as much as better way as possible. As the Guru Rishi Parampara finds us we deserving and they give us that we study. Now this is the Mukti Marga into which we have to enter, for which we have to be inspired. And Guru does his struggle of trying to explain to us. We have to put our own genuine efforts of trying to understand what is that subtlety is there in the Guru's words. He is not speaking out of selfishness. He is not speaking out of any anger or vengeance, or what do you say, to trouble us, to take some revenge. Why will he do all that? So there is some honesty in his words. In that way, we start, and when you analyze, slowly, suddenly, one day, our standpoint of understanding jumps up to his standpoint of understanding, then the thing is achieved. What is the thing achieved? That therefore, this is the path I have to follow for my infinite blissful self or being or for liberation, not the one which I am following. When that clicks to us, then we naturally become, effortlessly become the Adhyatmika sadhakas. To such one, the Upanishad is meaningful. The one has not found the importance and interest in Adhyatmika Jivana. For him, the Adhyatmika Jivana or Upadesha is a very heavy boredom. But the one who is convinced about its beautiful result and wants to achieve that, for him, every pursuit to have this Adhyatmikata or Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana is full of joy, full of inspiration, full of interest. All the gurus tries to create such type of atmosphere in us. One of the things which helps us is when we are in that atmosphere of the ashrama, where the students also are like that, who are so fully inspired to pursue the Adhyatmikata. Today's world, we are in our own house, all other things, where other things also equally inspire us. Anyway, we can't help it. In spite of that, we are at least some hours during the day through our classes trying to tune ourselves to that mind of those great sadhakas. Anyway, now what is to be done is said. Atma kamitva, Atma prayatna, Atma anubhuti, Atma eva Brahma, Brahma eva Ananda, Anandaha aham asmi idanim. So eko Brahmana Ananda. Now what is the other lifestyle which we have now? There is no Atma Kamata. Then what is there? Anatma Kamata. What it started from the Anatma Kamata? The Anatma Dehadi Tadatmyam. And this Anatma Dehadi Tadatmyam leading to the Anatma Jagat Vastu Kamata is pushing us towards the variety of Kamya Karmas. And those Kamya Karmas are fructifying in the Karma Phala Rupa. That Karma Phala is pushing us from one Deha to the other, one Sthala to the other. The fallacies or the shortcomings in this are the result depends on efforts. The efforts being finite, results also are finite. Is it not? And once we go on adding the karma in us, especially the sanchita karma, by doing lot of kamya karma through kaya, vacha, manasa, the force is so much that we'll become a helpless victim only to be thrown from one deha to the other, to be exposed to one paristhiti to the other, where we cannot by any chance or by effort pull ourselves from this and focus ourselves towards the Adhyatmika Jivana. Therefore, understand the limitations of all this slowly and steadily. We have to reduce all this lifestyle and increase in the earlier said lifestyle. Same thing. Instead of anatma kamana, we should do the atma kamana. Instead of prayatna for the anatma vastu, we have to try for the atma vastu. Instead of trying to experience the anatma sukha bhoga, let us try to experience the atma ananda. Instead of trying to become the jiva through upadhi, let us become the brahma who is nirupadhika, beyond all upadhis or limitations. For that, some convictions are told. What are that? As long as kamanas are there, so long there will be desires. Desires will push us into the activity. And as long as the next sentence is very essential, which cannot be easily understood, but when it is practiced, you can experience it as well as you can understand and accept it. What is that? That day when the Atma Kamana starts, then only the Anatma Kamana will start reducing. When our Kamanas are only of the Anatma Jagat, Anatma Vastu, they like that legions, or you say, the what you call, go on growing by themselves only. Like in rainy season, when the first few rains come, the small little insects, one they start like legions only, one, 500, thousands of they start coming from the earth. इतने सारे आते हैं देखते देखते आप रे पूरे लाइट्स पे सारे वो छा जाते हैं. So to the Dimak or the white ant. So very delicate they are. ऐसे वागड़ो मारते हैं. But they have the inner capacity of growing so much that 2-4 दिन में पूरे घर वो एक्वे करते हैं. So too the anatma kamana breeds anatma kamana only. And once the heart is filled with kamana, we can never be restful without trying to fulfill that kamana with some or the other karma. Karma is done, you cannot escape the phala. For the sake of phala, you have to struggle to go into that dehadi or yoni. It is an endless process. And right now, our attention is like that. Therefore, even it is vaguely, even it is on the strength of our faith to the Guru, or maybe the Ishta Devata, or kuch na kuch obligation reason leke, start desiring for the Atma. Do nothing, but at least start desiring. That itself slowly adds to us a thought to fulfill that desire. Then our spiritual sadhana, spiritual study starts introduced into our life. To that extent, obviously, from the anatma kamana, we got reduced. And all this process is a huge, long process of many, many, many lives. Not in one life. Nobody achieves in one life. In one life, what is there in Upanishad or how to chant Upanishad mantra, even that much also we don't learn. Did we learn from last 2 years? बताओ. ऐसे ही चलता है वो. We didn't even learn विवेक एंड वैराग्य. So far, विवेक करने के लिए बैठे ही नहीं अभी तक. Only then the deeper understanding will come about what is real and unreal. Then only from the unreal we get vairagya. Is it not? With Viveka Vairagya, continuously doing Shamadhamadi only, will reduce the vasanas. Then only the natural tendencies in the mind to do the sankalpa of the kamya vastus, all that reduces. Such person only morning till evening every day will hold on his mind and apply it for spirituality. मुझे उठते ही मेरे मन को याद रख के उसको परमात्मा में लगाते जाना है. ऐसा अभ्यास पर so many lives I do, then the mind understands and practices meditation, experience self. That will happen when the pressure in the mind is reduced of the vasanas. Vasanas go away when the Shabadamadhi are practiced. Shabadamadhi practiced when we have Vairagya. Vairagya comes when we have Vivek. So first level में ही हम अभी नहीं. तो इतने लेवल पहुंचना है तो it will take lot of time, but keep on charayveti it will happen. Like in this life in last 2 years, when we tried at least one round some Upanishads we have gone through, that itself is a good achievement, not a spectacular, but at least it proved us that when we are committed and effortful, things can be done and achieved. Yeah, so remember the things. What is that? Brahma eva Mukti Swarupam. So Aham Brahmasmi is the Lakshyam. Before that, Atma Anubhavam. Before that, Atma Anubhava Praptyartham Prayatnam. Before that, the Atma Kamana. And here, one beautiful sentence it was Atma Kama Eva Apta Kamitvam. Listen this. Atma Kamitva alone leads to Apta Kamitva. Apta Kama means fulfillment of all desires so that nothing remains. That's what Apta Kama. For example, on the dining table, for that particular time, when every of the items that are made are served with and all of them are eaten up to the full of stomach level, after which there's not even thought or sankalpa again to get anything served. You just wash the hands or whatever, you do the viramana of that work of eating food. At that moment, what is in our mind regarding the eating food is apta kamitvam. Before that, so much hunger. And at the hungry time, there's the rice eaters or chapati eaters. So ye dal dalo, wo sabji dalo, ye chutney dalo, ye achar dalo, papad do. So there were the kamanas for this or that, this or that, this. We went on eating. When the stomach is full brim, then not even a thought of any of the thing in such a way that when we entered into dining table with such a desires we rushed into. But after it is over, we go away with such a vairagya. Why apta kama ho gaya? So that is everyday thrice happening when we are on the dining table. But that is not ending there. It is we are going from dining table for another kamana for fulfillment. It may be to the hall to watch the TV. It may be to some other place for some entertainment. So this kamana ka apti ho gaya, but another kamana is there throughout life. Those kamanas can be even to take care of children, to serve the nation, to protect the religion. अब इसका अंत नहीं है, बट कुछ ना कुछ कामना है, कुछ ना कुछ उसमें कर रहे हैं. When that is over, then it looks like आपता कामना. So, but another kamana is coming. Now imagine a state of being where all these things are fully achieved, after which there remains nothing to be achieved, not even iota or idea. That state of being is called as apta kamitva. What Shankar Bhagavan says here is that state of being, after achieving which nothing more is felt to be achieved, no sankalpa also even comes. That stage is technically called as apta kamitva. He says that stage will come only when the atma kamana is entertained and it is fulfilled. This is what is on the strength of faith we have to accept. Then practice. Then when you reach, it is proved to be correct. Why is it so? Because Atma alone is real. Atma is Brahma. Brahma is Ananta. When the Ananta is experienced, that I am the infinite, then there's no desire will be there for the finite. Like we explained yesterday, the river being limited, it has a desire to run, and embrace ocean or merge in it. But the ocean is so infinite, it is apta kama, it will not go anywhere to embrace anything. That's how Apuryamana Pratishtam Samudram Apaha Pravishanti Yadvat Tadvat Kamaha Yam Pravishanti Sarve Sashanti Mapnodana Kama Kama. In this way, into whose Atma Anubhava, all the Kamanas merge and dissolve like the rivers merge and dissolve in the ocean. Such person is the one who is achieving or experiencing the ultimate peace. Not the one Kama Kami, the desire of the desires. Gita ka Shlok. So that this we are relating. Now this Atma Kama leads to Atma Anubhuti leads to Brahma Anubhuti leads to Apta Kamitvam, after which there is no samsara. These are the stages we have to cross. Guru is already in that stage. For achieving that only he is telling us Upanishad. To pursue the Upanishad for that ultimate truth, we have to find interest and inspiration. To create that interest and inspiration as the glory of the Brahma Vidya is being explained. Same time, what we are doing so far, in that whatever shortcomings are there that are explained, so that we think both of them, choose for ourselves what to give up, what to take up. If one is very serious, genuine in this type of analysis deeply, he understands the entire karma kshetra with the anatma tadatmya to get some or the anatma limited things of the world is not so great or intelligent thing. Then let me pursue this more. The moment by saying that I don't pursue it, it won't go away overnight just like that. But slowly, slowly from this to this, like you all, slowly from your daily routines, you started giving time for the class. Then some of you even started giving some more extra time and effort beyond the class also for your own self-study reflection. Some of you even started finding the need of quietening the mind to clearly understand this, meditate on this, and reach the truth. Therefore, you have started your own very genuine, purposeful upasanas like puja or even japa. We were doing earlier also these, but that time they were done just mechanically under some other pretext or influence. But now we know, unless my mind is calm, quite purified, the great truths of Upanishad cannot be understood. Inspiration to meditate and ability to meditate will not come, then I can't experience that. With that purpose, we have already started. So slowly the transformation, as it is happening, this is how when we allow it to happen, slowly one day we embark it to the highest level. So here in this Upsambandha Bhasha, this is how Bhagavan has told us. And some help is done by Purvapakshi himself, and that help Guru Maharaj is taking to complete the subject. What is his help? Half of the thing he only told. What is the half of thing? Ki Nishiddha karma I gave up, Kamya karma I gave up, then Arabdha karma I am going through without reaction. I am doing Nitya karma to avoid the Pratyavaya dosha. So he is such a disciplined fellow. Only two more things have to be told to him. बेटा जितना भी कर्म क्षेत्र में तुम रहो कर्ता कर्म कर्म फल जन्म मरण in this samsara you will be there. Then what you have to do? You have to desire for the Atma. Atma desire is not like the Jagat desire. The desire of the worldly objects demands the karma there of the outer type of karmas where you have to plan out and get the resource and the work. But the Atma Kamana is fulfilled in not karma but in jnanam. Because Atma is not aprapta vastu like the anatma vastu. Anamatma vastus are unaprapta, ungained. Therefore, you have to work to gain them. Atma is ever gained. It is always me. Therefore, it's not a work to be done to gain like an Atma. It's only to be known. Therefore, to know the Atma and the Brahma is the Upanishad. And all this depends on your own deep inner meditation. Meditation followed by contemplation. Contemplation is possible by clarity. Clarity comes with Mananam. Mananam is done by first step of information gathering. Information comes to us through the study of the Upanishad or listening of Upanishad Shravanam. So here the Shravanam of the Paramatma Tattva is given to us through the Madhyamam of the Upanishad. Then we do the mananam, then the clarity, then conviction, then we discover, yeah, it is me. So by knowing myself, I become the infinite Brahma, by which all the finitudes are transcended in true experience. Then there is aptakamitva, then all samsara is over. In the pursuit of the anatma, every pursuit adds to the samsara limitation only, rather than getting it out of the samsara or the limitation. It's just like any activity of waking plane pulls us to in the waking plane only. Even a little action you do. So if you want to enter into deep sleep plane, every action of the Jagrada Avastha you have to drop. Then only you enter into the new zone. In the same way. So we have seen yesterday all these things. Up to the Swargavala topic, we have seen that the Sarga is such a desired thing by everyone. Hmm. Then that comes through some particular karma, yajna yaga. So why not we do those yajna yaga karma and get into that niratishaya priti swarupa swarga? Why answer is that swarga you wanted to achieve thinking that it is a moksha. We are saying that swarga is achieved by yajna yaga which have a beginning. But this moksha which we talk about in all Shastra is nitya. It is not kruta. That it was not there and it is achieved through karma as a nahi hai. The moksha is nitya swarupa and that is recognized only through recognition only, that is experienced, not by doing how much or big the yajna karma look to be. You may get as a result of yajna such a great Swarga Adi, but they are not Nitya. So, one thing we have to understand, Moksha and Nitya should go together. Anything Anitya cannot be the Mukti. Can you feel the meaning of these two words? Little subtler it is. Anything Anitya cannot be Mukti. Mukti means Nitya होना चाहिए. क्योंकि if it is not Nitya, then you have become Baddha. That's the thing we are not understanding, that everything which we gain in the world being Anitya, when it was with us, that Sukha is going away, and again we are becoming Dukhi. That Sukha is called Mukti and Dukkha is called Bandhanam. Why it is said that the worldly pursuits are bandhana karanam? Because mukti and nityata goes together. World being anitya, therefore one cannot be mukta. See, in simple word, any question we ask, you can answer it. When do you want to be happy? Do we ever say कि only सुबह, only दोपहर में, only शाम को? Nobody says like that. हाँ जी morning 1 hour happy, बाद में इतना भी misery दे दो. Nobody says. We want mukti all the time. And where do you want mukti? Only in the class, not at home, in the office, on the road? We want mukti and ananda are same. We don't say that, ah, yahan de do anandam ya mukti, not other place. Nobody says. We want every place. So too, only in this situation I want to be happy. Do we say? Happiness and mukti are together. Bandhanam and dukkha are together. Wherever we feel dukkha, that is bandhanam, because we want to get rid of it. And we want to enter into आनंदा, therefore आनंदा is मुक्त. हर बंदा बंधन से मुक्त होना चाहता है. हर बंदा दुख से सुख में आना चाहता है. Therefore दुख is बंधनम, सुखम is मोक्षम. So to nobody wants आनंदा in only some situations. All of us want this. Nityam is all places, all times, all situation. Sukha only. That in other words called as moksha. That means nityata. Now that is what is said in the Upanishad. Ki, even Yamara said Anityahi dravyamahi praptavan asmi nityam, and anyatra dharmat or na asti akrutaha krutena. What is said in all that Upanishads is this only. By anitya karma, you get the anitya vastus only, whether of this world or the other world. And anything anitya cannot give the mukti, because mukti is nitya swarupa. So anitya cannot give the mukti because it is anitya. Therefore, the nitya mukti can come with only the nitya vastu. Luckily, there is some nitya vastu called as Atma or Brahma, and more luckily, it is only your own self. Only unfortunate thing is we are not aware of it. Just become aware of it and own it. इन ऑल अदर थिंग्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ये वस्तु है, बहुत बढ़िया है, जानने मात्र से वो आपको नहीं मिलता है. यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर इट, यू हैव टू पे फॉर इट. इज इट नॉट? यू हैव सीन ए गुड ऑब्जेक्ट, तो यू हैव टू वर्क एंड अर्न मनी, पे फॉर दैट ऑब्जेक्ट एंड बाय. But in the case of Atma Vastu, it is not so. It is knowing is given, knowing is being. The moment you know it, you are that. Such facility is there in this. You know that you are infinite, you become you are infinite. Then mukti is gained. There is no limitation like that of in the anitya vastus. बार बार ऊपर सुनने से इस बात पे इंटरेस्ट बढ़ेगा, अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ेगा. आई एम सीकिंग नित्य आनंद. हाउ कैन इट कम टू मी इन द अनित्य वस्तुस? Nitya Ananda can only come in the Nitya Vastu, and Nitya Vastu is Brahma, Atma. So let me pursue the Atma Vastu, let me pursue the Brahma Vastu. Let me do it for 2-3 lives. Nahi mila to let me come back to the Anitya. Is it not? So this was the explanation given. Ki yad arabdham tad anityam iti. That which has begun as a limited, it's not endless. Therefore, ata na karamarabdha moksha. So moksha being nitya, karma being have an end, beginning and end. Beginning and end yukta karma will give only beginning and end yukta result, which is anitya. So we want nitya, but we are getting anitya. So if you want nitya, go for the nitya only, not anitya. That is what he says. So the shabda artha, what we are trying to gain here, you just try to feel the meaning of it. That any sukha in this world or in the swarga, any action that is told for us to do to reach there, will be limited in resources and efforts. And whatever limited efforts hai, limited resources से किया हुआ, it will give you limited result only. Feel that. क्योंकि उसका अगर 200 रुपये है तो 200 रुपये का ही चीज़ मिलेगा ना, 500 का तो नहीं मिलेगा. Is it not? In the same way, as a jiva with my sources, resources, whatever I do is only limited. With that unlimited, how can it come to us? That is a feeling. So, what is Swarga? Is a prapti of what? Phala, of what? A karma. So, karma phala is Swarga. How much is karma done? Very less because of resources being very less. So, when the karma is limited by efforts, by time, etc., how can the phala be infinite? What you have to feel there? Yeah, I do this yajna, I reach Swarga. Yeah, tak correct hai. Vedanta accepts it. It's true. But there, that which led for this Swarga Prapti, called your karma, because it is endful, once that is ended, then we have no right or choice to stay there. We'll be thrown back from that higher pedestal. Everywhere it is the case. No, you paid from Bombay to Delhi by flight. तो you boarded the flight, तो you reach Delhi. और नहीं मैं ये कहाँ जा रही है अभी बताओ, ये ना अभी अहमदाबाद जा रही. I'll sit in अहमदाबाद, मेरे को लिफ्ट दे दो. You will not allow you unless you have a continuation of the flight ticket. Everywhere it is no. भाई जितना खाना है मुझे दे दो, सब खाऊंगा, लेकिन आई हैव ओनली मनी फॉर वन प्लेट इडली. यू विल नॉट अलाउ, यू हैव दैट मच मनी, ओनली वन प्लेट इडली इज गिवन, बाद में नहीं मिलता. When you can understand this, everything in this world, when I love someone, you can't love eternally anybody. You don't have time, you can't have patience. It ends. When it ends, the reciprocation also ends from that. That's what Bhagavan Shankara deeply means when he writes in Bhaja Govindam, कि as long as you are earning money, people at your home are so concerned for you. The moment you stop earning, they don't even inquire whether you are alive or not. यावद् वित्तोपार्जन सक्तः तावन् निज परिवारो रक्तः पश्चात् जीवति जर्जर देहे वार्तां कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे. No, there he said it to get withdrawn from our all identities. But what more deeper point is there is to say that your limited effort of earning in the work, doing some naukri and earning money will make others happy because of you as long as you are able to do. And it is natural. Your earning when is no more nitya, their love concern for you will reduce. This is a philosophical thought put emotionally so that we get withdrawn from our identifications. And there's nothing wrong in those people at home also, that when they are not getting anything from us, that they stop valuing us. Do you value someone or something from where you are not getting any benefit? If you are valuing, you must be a saintly sage person, and your valuing is that that person or thing is only Paramatma. Other option is you are a fool. If you come to the class, you come because some benefit is coming to you, some knowledge or understanding. When that is not coming, why do you come? You will not come. That benefit from the class, at least it should be a sound sleep. समझे क्लास में बढ़िया नींद आती है इसलिए मैं जाता हूँ. उतना भी फायदा नहीं है तो कोई आता नहीं इधर. So therefore, what they do is right. Though we are not seated here to explain Bhajagovindam, just as we touched the topic, one more additional thought we shared. So what is the idea? Even the most beautiful Swarga, which is earned through this punya of this world, itself when cannot be sought after because it is anitya. Then what to talk about in front of our eyes only, the things which are perishing, proving to us that they are anitya, should we pursue them then? See, the Ananda of Swarga is much bigger compared to the Ananda of the Vishayas of the Bhuloka. यहाँ कह रहे हो स्वर्ग का आनंद भी अनित्य है, इसलिए वहां से आपको धक्का देके बाहर जाते हैं. डोंट परस्यू दोज ऑल बिग बिग यज्ञ. Then what to talk about pursuing these things of the world, which gives such an anitya phala, you know? So with this guidance of Shankara, When this thought comes to any one of you and me, for example, to me or you, then from within my heart, genuinely, I withdraw from those efforts which give anitya phala. Then I go toward that which gives nitya phala. That is called the birth of Atma seeker, the spiritual seeker in us, Adhyatmika seeker. He cannot be insisted, thirst upon us. है ना, यू आर एन आध्यात्मिक साधक का ऐसा करके एक लेबल बना के, एक टैग बना के हमारे गले में नहीं डालते. Like when you go to any meetings, then a tag is given, a label is given, it is put on your gala. और लटकता रहेगा, people will know you are this fellow. In this way, no guru, no shastra will put the tag in our gala कि you are now a sadhaka. That is, I have to put on myself. What helps me is these are the data. When the heart is throbbing and seeking for the eternal, how can my mind, intellect put all its efforts and resources for non eternal, temporary? This reconciliation, when it is born, thereafter nobody need tell us ki take up your spiritual sadhana. Naturally, we take it up. Just like in the world, a youngster applied for two companies. One company is tentatively, clearly understandable that it is temporary. Another company is may not be completely permanent but long lasting. Which जॉब विल अप्लाई, थोड़ा भी कॉमन सेंस है तो कल परसों लुढ़कने वाले कंपनी में अप्लाई करेगा क्या? यू विल ओनली गो फॉर परमानेंट. Is it not? If you and I feel that our relation is temporary, though it is ultimately temporary only, but we don't join. We only anticipate it is to be long lasting, at least if not permanent. So, from the heart, that thought should come that I should use all my resources to gain something permanent and not temporary. The self is not only permanent, but it is infinite, but it is been blissful, it is effortless, it has no obligation, it is our own self. It is already achieved, it only has to be known. बस उसको जानना है. बस उसके लिए थोड़ा we have to discover the meditational poise and use that poise to do meditation and in that recognize it. So this is the argument or discussion that has come. Then about the bhava abhava also we have discussed when he gave the example of the pradvamsa abhava of the pot. So the pot is there, it's broken. The broken pot is a pradvamsa abhava and it continues eternally. So too, through karma and upasana, we get the moksha and that moksha can be eternal. What is the answer given to that? You gave the example of abhava. Moksha is bhava swarup. And in the abhava, there are no visheshanas. Bhava rupatmakata, there is a beautiful visheshanas are there. Why you have brought this explanation of the bhava rupakata is with visheshana and abhava is nirvishesha? Why? Because when in that abhava koi visheshan nahi hai, therefore that abhava we attend to. Next sentence very important, that the abhava is kalpana. Like when the pot is there. Pot is there is an existence in the form of the pot. But that has some utility, that has some reality. Though absolutely it's unreal. What? The pot. Is it not? Bhava Rupa have pot. Existence in the form of pot. Now, the absence of the pot. वो कोई वस्तु है ही नहीं है, उसका कोई गुण नहीं है, उसको आप यूज भी नहीं कर सकते और ऐसा कोई चीज दिखा भी नहीं सकते. Although it's a झूठ, you can show a bhavaatmaka part with nama rupa. Is it not? Because why the pot is jhuta? Because in and through that pot only mud is there. From that ultimate standpoint, there is no pot, only the mud is there. But now at the utility level, there is a bhavaatmakta of the pot. But when the pot is broken, that abhava is only a concept. It's only an imagination. It's not any substantial thing about which you can give value or importance. That's why when parents are there, the bhavaatmaka, all fighting you do with them, all love you have with them, all benefits you get from them, all love you get from them. सब भावात्मक है वो. अब when they leave body and go, इट्स एन अभावा. अब सब इमेजिनेशन ही है, जो भी आप उनके लिए करोगे या जो ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं उसको अब याद करो. Is it not? Only you can have a memory of what love service you gave to them. Or in the mind you can imagine, काश पेरेंट्स होते, मैं उनको इधर उधर घुमा देता हूँ, whatever. but it's all abhava. Because they are not there. Kalpana है, अभाव हमेश कल्पना होता है हमेशा. So the absence of part pradvamsa abhava, though you are talking of flowery language and say that it is infinite or it is endless, it is nitya. But Maharaj, that is kalpana. So he gave the example of the flower. A bhavatmaka flower has beautiful gunas of fragrance, tenderness, and color and all. Then the absence of lotus. What do you talk about it? If you talk anything about that absent lotus, then you are talking about the presence of that gunas. That means it becomes bhavatmaka again. When you're talking abhavatmaka, stick to that. Don't talk bhavatmakata. When the lotus itself is absence, then how can you talk about the red or blue or yellow lotus with all the gunas? Because they're all Visheshanas to the Visheshya called as lotus. Lotus itself is absent. Then how can you talk the gunas? Even we talk, I am talking about that absent lotus of which the colors are yellow, blue. Now, what about the reality of the yellow or blue of the lotus? Also are absent. Therefore, when the lotus itself is illusion or imagination, because it's abhava rupa, all its gunas also are abhava. What is the purpose of discussion? This it is only kalpana, not satya. Why this all is said? To reject that person's point that like the pradvamsa abhava nitya, so too by some reason we do something through karma upasana and get moksha and become nitya. What is the point he is holding on to? Kuch to kuch karma karna hai. What the Siddhanti says is, when you do the karma, you are a karta. And karma being limited gives you limited karma phala only. It cannot be infinite. नित्य नहीं है, हमको नित्य चाहिए. And what he says always is, nitya is atma, already it is there. Why don't you discover it? This fellow, instead of focusing his attention on the real infinite self, he wants to focus attention in his upadhis and some objects outside through which he can do some karma and get something he was doing already. With same process, he want to get even the atma also, which is infinite. क्या करना चाहते हैं गुरु यहाँ? That's the meaning of sarvadharman parityajya. Dharma means karma. Unless when sarva karma, including sarva dharma are parityajya, then only the mam ekam sharanam vraja, that one without second self, you can focus on it. Sharanam vraja is the highest, deepest level of meditation. Then aham means the experience of the self. Tva means you, the jiva. Sarva papebhya, from all limitations, mokshishyami is liberated. Because the pursuing jiva of the Atma discovers that he himself is an Atma which is infinite. Then all the papa or dukkha are only in finitude. Therefore, sarva papebhya mokshish. It's not the Krishna says that मैं तुम्हें सारे पापों से मुक्त करता हूँ. It is the self in you which liberates you, the jiva, from all limitations. Because jiva, in his inquiry about the Atma, discovered that he is the Atma which is infinite. In the finitude only, there are all papa punya. Sarva papebhya, in brackets always you have to study, sarva punyebhya also mokshesha. Because from the absolute spiritual standpoint, punya also is also papa. Because punya also is giving you a birth in a limited way in some or the other place. Secondly, though khatam ho jayega wo bhi, then again you are back to square one only. So sarva punya papebhya moksheshyami. What is the meaning of punya leads to swarga, papa leads to moksha. Leads to naraka. So from the naraka swarga you are freely. Naraka swarga के बीच में ही अर्थ है. So neither going to naraka nor to the swarga nor coming as a human being to be born to do something or the other. That samasya kuch nahi rahega. That is the meaning of sarva pape moksheshyami. The last sloka of Gita. Charama sloka, not number wise it's not last, but by teaching wise it is the last. Same thing is we have to feel it here. Okay, now the last topic in this introduction. See, these are the subtleties which are very beautiful. Only when we tune to Bhagavan Adi Shankara and the Guru Parampara, हमको इसमें समझ आने लगता है. समझ आएगा ना तो मजा आने लगता है. And especially when that समझदारी, when we apply to ourselves. That I was living such a world, such a life of activities, trying to become happy for a long time. The desire to be continuous happiness is remaining. Because of that only, I am jumping from one activity to the activity in an illusion that the temporary action and temporary result can give me the permanent result. Permanent happiness. So that mistake when we realize, then we try to pursue the right path. Then tell me, Maharaj, what is that by doing which the permanent can be gained? Again, in the question is like that only. What is that which to be done by which permanent is gained? Guru says, वहाँ कुछ करने का नहीं बेटा, तो तैयारियां तो करके आओ, देन उसके बाद करने का नहीं होता, जानने का नहीं होता है. इट इज टू बी नोन, देयर इज नथिंग टू बी डन. वहां ज्ञान पाने का कर्म थोड़ा कर सकते हो. दैट्स व्हाट गोइंग टू द क्लास, लिसनिंग टू उपनिषद, trying to understand. These are all the actions only. I, a responsible individual, myself going to class, sitting, listening, these are all the doings only. Then gathering information, then reflecting. All ings are the works only. But once after the reflection is done, the truth is understood. There's no more any doings that are there. Then there's only being. That being is becoming. Actually, can't call it as becoming. It's only being the infinite self. इसलिए हजार बार ऐसे एग्जाम्पल देते हैं. भाई तुम्हारे दादा परदादा इतने करोड़ कमा के रखे हैं, लेकिन हम उसको याद ही नहीं रखते, इसलिए भिखारी की तरह भीख मांग रहे. सेम द क्वेश्चन yesterday राम भगवान asked Agastya ji about Hanuman ji, with such a powerful thing, why didn't he help Sugriva to kill Vali? Same answer, Hanuman ji was cursed that he will not remember his power. So to this fellow is in such a delusion, he doesn't know that his grandfathers have kept such a lot of wealth for him, he can claim all that. Same way you and I are in a forgetfulness that we are that which we are seeking, the infinite bliss. And we are like beggars going and begging the things and beings of the world, सुख दे दो, खुशियां दे दो, आनंद दे दो. वो लोग कहते हैं बेवकूफ, हम जड़ है, हम कैसे दे सकते हैं? नहीं देंगे. Then we go for some pleasures, taking that as anandam. Some conveniences, taking that as anandam. Like वो भिखारी को जब कुछ मिलता नहीं तो वे कचरे कुंड में जो है वही खाएगा ना. हमसे कुछ ना कुछ तरीके से भूख मिटानी है. So the bhook of ananda of ours, we are trying to mitao through small little pleasures like a beggar on the street. That's what we like two beggars when they meet. They say, अरे तुमको क्या मिला रे? मेरे को ना कल का पिज्जा मिला. तुमको क्या मिला? मेरे को कल का केक मिला. They lavishly talk, but what they are talking about is कल का बासी वाला. So to two bhogis of the world, कैसे? What did you do yesterday? I enjoyed my holiday in my party with friends. What did you do? I enjoyed with my family. I went to a hotel. Like the beggars only, they are talking. But what is inherent is, these beggars are जैसे बासी खाना खा रहे हैं, हम सब भी we are talking about that small little pleasures which have come out of some spending of money, some ha-hoo here and there, some funny things. But when all beggars meet, they don't feel any guilt because एक ही community है. So to all bhogis meet, they don't feel any regret because एक ही community. they all they love each other, respect each other. They may have an association also, beggars association, beggar president, beggar secretary, then beggar treasurer, beggar the liaison officer. You can have same things done by all these people, but then they don't understand it. Who are they? We only. So it should click to me. Oh, Baba, I am running behind things and beings for small little pleasures, forgetting that I am seeking infinite ananda, which is my own essential nature, which I have to recognize. ये बात आने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगता है हमको. Because you have don't believe, we don't want to listen, we don't want to believe, we don't want to accept it. Because our egos, our strong pulls toward the world, our so-called obligations, so-called duties, ये सारे इतना हमको खींच के ले आते. Just like when I ask you, why don't you come to class? You say, स्वामी जी इनको अटेंड करना है, उधर जाना है, इसने बुलाया. See, so many obligations. How many obligations we put on our head? How many obligations we call them as duty? How many of obligation duty we make compulsion? With all those things inside and outside, why will you come to class? In the same way, in the pursuit of understanding the truth, also so many obligations which doesn't allow us. What Guru does is it tries to give all the data, material, help, blessing, guidance by which we only come out of the wrong pursuit into the right pursuit. The wrong pursuit is worldly, right is spiritual. There's no doubt about it, no ambiguity. Why? The worldly pursuit takes away all time, energy, and gives chota chocolate. Whereas the spiritual pursuit also demands so much of effort, but what gives is infinite. And whatever the world gives, it ends. Whatever the spirituality gives, never ends. Think for yourself coolly. We never thought about it. That's why the genuine seeker in us, the deep seeker in us, the sadhaka in us is not yet born. He is only in the conceived level of 1 month, 2 month. उसको डेवलप करके उनको जन्म देकर उसको बड़ा करते जाना. Anyway, so this is how it is. Now vidya karma kartuh nityatvato vidya karma santana janita mokshasya nityatvam iti chet ganga srotovat. In the example only he is telling what he wants to say, and in that example only there is a fallacy. He says you are right. Karma and upasana are anitya. Well, nobody can do any karma continuously. No upasana can be done. But the karta of this karma and upasana, he is nitya, no? Yeah. So he will do one karma or one upasana or combination of karma and upasana, which can be nitya, which can result the nitya result. So this is what a funny question by him. Karta is nitya. Karma and upasana may not be nitya. So this nitya karta, because every moment from morning till evening, morning, birth to death, we are going on doing something. देखो कर्ता का नित्यत्व होने के कारण ऐसा कोई काम या काम कर्मों का सीक्वेंस ढूंढेगा जो नित्य रहेगा, then that may give the नित्य मोक्ष. That is what विद्या कर्म कर्तु नित्यत्वात् विद्या कर्म संतान जनित मोक्ष से. संतान मीन्स born. विद्या कर्म संतानित मोक्ष से नित्यत्व मिति चेत गंगा स्रोतो was like Ganga water is not same, but the river bed is continuous, therefore the river is eternal. Do you never said कि कल गंगा चली हो गई है, अब शायद आज की गंगा आएगी, कल आज आती होगी, कल की गंगा कल भी आएगी. We never say. We say Ganga is nitya, but actually in Ganga the water is not nitya. Every moment it is flow. You can never have a bath in same Ganga say 2 times. Throughout, you can't because it's gone the water. But the river bed is permanent on which the water is flowing. Therefore, the permanence of the river bed is given to the waters flowing. Therefore, you say Ganga is Nitya. So, to the Karta is Nitya. The karma and upasana may go on continuously changing. Yet, because the Nityatva of the Kartrutva, some karma and upasana, the combination of many karma and upasana, can give a Nitya result, moksha. Can give a result called moksha, which can be Nitya. So that is what Vidya Karma Santana Janita Mokshasya Nityatva Vidijeto Na Ganga Srotovatu. It's a Ganga Srotot. Answer is na. Now listen a little bit, not too detailed we go, simple. What Bhagavan says, Bhashyakara, an answer to this point is first कर्तृत्वस्य दुःख रूपत्वात्. ये देखो ये बड़ा पॉइंट है. कर्तृत्वस्य दुःख रूपत्वात्. Because a karta ko to remain as karta and gather all resources and do planning and do the karma, it is dukkha. But the desire in front of him is tempting him, inspiring him to go through all these dukkha. So inherently the kartrutva mein dukkha hai baba. Some of the works which we love, we may do it with pleasure, but that won't be all the time again. Because you will not have resources to do the karma all the time. Then, when the resources get exhausted or we become old, we don't feel happy. We will miserable. यार जवान में तो क्या क्या करता था मैं, अब नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, और नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ also is a करता, but दुखी हो गए कि नहीं अभी? No, this very funny thing what Shankara said is funny. Funny is beautiful. What is it? Kartrutva se dukkha rupatva. Means what? To remain as karta is a dukkha rupa, and that is why nobody in the world wants to work. सब पॉकेट में मिल जाता है ना, कोई बंदा कुछ भी करने को तैयार नहीं है, नहीं करेगा वो. If something, that's how people go for government jobs, because काम कम करो, ज़्यादा रेगुलर पक्का सैलरी अकाउंट में आ ही जाएगा. They always look for less work, more package. Everyone, even you and I now also, with less study, can we have more knowledge? With less meditation, can we have more anubhuti? With little puja, Sakurudeva Prapanaya Tavasmidhi Achate, और सकृत सेवया नित्य सेवा फलम तो प्रयच प्रयच प्रभु वेंकटेशा. प्रियर ऑल्सो, एक बार आऊंगा मैं, समझ लेना है कि मैं डेली आ गया हूँ. भगवान भी कहते बेटा तुरा एक बार आना भी मेरे काफी है, अब बार बार मत आना, मेरे को दूसरे लोगों को अटेंड करनी है. तो वो कुछ सुख दुख चाहिए, सुख चाहिए तो ले लो. In Venkatesh Suprabhata it says कि I came with such a difficulty climbing all 7 hills. Every day I can't do. Once I came, please imagine that it is every day. सकृत सेवया नित्य सेवा फलम तुम प्रयच्छ प्रयच्छ प्रभो वेंकटेश. Nobody wants to work because the self is infinite. It has nothing to achieve, therefore there is nothing to be done. That inherent nature of the innermost self is superimposed on Jiva, who need to work to achieve the success in world as long as the samsari has desires, who need to work for knowing the truth till he knows the truth. But the nature of self is infinite and doesn't want to work. He puts on his own self as a jiva and tries to get maximum without doing anything. What is the answer here? Anything you want in the world, you have to go on doing. The more you have desire, the more you have to work. But it's a samsara. We have denied that. Even the spirituality also, till the identification with the self happens, to get that identity, whatever the maximum sadhanas have to be done, we have to do without laziness. That we will see in the next Shanti mantras, etc. So, एक तो कर्तृत्वस्य दुःख रूपत्वात्. Second is what? Kartrutva cannot be permanent. Therefore, kartrutva paramecha moksha vicheda. When you withdraw the kartrutva, because you are tired or exhausted, कर्तृत्व नहीं है तो कर्म नहीं है तो फल भी नहीं आएगा. Therefore, मोक्ष विच्छेद हो जाएगा उसका. डेली वाटर द प्लांट्स, इट विल बी ग्रीन लीव्स एंड फ्लावर्स. एक हफ्ता छोड़ दो तो सूख के मर जाएगा वो. तस्मात तस्मात now from here the next 4-5 lines are essence of whatever discussed so far. And what is the beautiful subtle essence we have to catch in our lives, in our hearts, so that our pursuit is transferred from the worldliness to spirituality, from Bahirmukha to the Antarmukha, from the Anatma to the Atma, from the Karma and Karma Phala to the Jnana and Moksha. Summary of all that. Tasmat, therefore, Tasmat means because of whatever we have discussed so far. See, avidyadi karma upadana hetu nivruttau swa atmani avasthanam moksha. What is moksha? Swa atmani avasthanam. How the swa atma avasthana happens? So, ki avidyadi karma upadana hetu nivruttau. अविद्या आदि कर्म उपादान हेतु निवृत्ति. Removal of the cause of what? Avidya and karma. In between there is only one thing I have to add. Sentence is complete. Like I am a jiva, I am a samsari, I am in the world because there is a hetu in me. The three hetus because of which I am a jiva, I am bound into the world is avidya. Avidya leads to kamana. Kamana leads to karma. So avidya kama karma is a hetu, because of which I am a samsari. Then to become mukta purusha, you have to discover the self. Self is already there. How this already existing self is revealed? When all these things are removed. Avidya kama karma, which are the hetu for samsara. Now, how can you remove? The connection is what? Already explained right from the beginning. The karma is because of kamana, kamana is because of avidya. Therefore, when the avidya is removed, kamana is removed, kamana is removed, karma is removed. Then avidya, kama, karma is removed. The hrudaya granthi is removed. When the hrudaya granthi is removed, no more is a jiva. Then how the avidya is removed, my dear? After which alone the kama, karma is removed? Only by vidya. So yesterday we touched it toward the end of the class. What is that? Through the Atma Vidya, listen carefully. Through the Atma Vidya, in which Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana are included through this Atma Vidya. When the avidya is removed, kamana is removed, karma is removed through the Atma Vidya. Because vidya removes avidya. Avidya is not there, therefore its child called as kamana is not there, its child is not there, the karma. One more thing I have to add if you are very attentive to listen. What is the meaning of the avidya leads to kama karma? At this, avidya means not knowing myself as infinite self, not experiencing. So in that avidya, the first thing born is jiva bhava. Jiva continues, immediately gets identified with the upadhi. ओके अविद्या मीन्स जब भी अविद्या कहते हैं जीव भाव उपाधि तादात्म्य ये दोनों ऐड करना है टू सच जीव हु हैज गॉट नो उपाधि तादात्म्य backed by the avidya his own essential nature definitely will have kamana for the world which is seeing outside and the world वहाँ टैग लगा है इसको पाना है तो तुमको इसके पैसे इतने पैसे देना है या ये वाला कर्म करना है तो यू डू द कर्म. So that is how avidya creates jiva bhava. Jiva gets identified with the upadhi. Jiva identified with the upadhi will have the kamana for the world, and to fulfill that kamana, he does the karma. And when he does the karma, is the kamana fulfilled or not? Definitely. But what is sought by us is the infinite. Infinite is not got by the finite. That we have to understand. So when with the Atma Vidya, Avidya is removed, Jiva Bhava is dissolved, Upadhi Tata is not there, Kamana Janma is not there, Karma is not required. In that achievement of the removal of Avidya, Janita, everything with the Vidya, what happens? It is like one thorn removing the other thorn of the leg. Both thorns are thrown. What remains? The painless leg, harmless leg, means non-septic leg. In the same way, when the Atma Vidya removed Atma Avidya, what happens? Atma Anubhuti happens, which is moksha. So Atma Vidya has not brought Atma Anubhuti to us because Atma is already there in us. It's not that I am not the self now and I am not experiencing it. I am experiencing myself all the time. But my experience as Jiva is superseding this experience. Like you are a woman, let us say. You are experiencing your womanhood all the time. But the motherhood in you is overpowering the womanhood. Therefore, you think you are a mother more than a woman. And basically, without being a woman, you can't be mother. So too, without being an Atma, I cannot be the Jiva. But the predominance of being a Jiva is hiding him to be an Atma. That Jiva Bhava is dropped. How? Jiva Bhava is born with avidya. Avidya is removed by vidya. When vidya removed avidya, Jiva Bhava is gone away. Atma Anubhava gets expressed. What is the meaning of Atma Anubhava gets expressed? I will discover myself to that infinite blissful self. Satchidananda Brahma Mai Hu. All these are theory, only information. These have to be contemplated and one has to become convinced. Accordingly, you'll have to live a life of sadhana for a long time. And the first step for that is no more interest in any pursuit of the world. Otherwise, with all Adhyatmic Jnanam, when we give interest to anything in the world, we are contradicting our own pursuit, our wisdom, our goal. फिर पहुंचेंगे नहीं कभी भी. इसलिए in the general growth of a sadhaka and the vanaprastha ashrama, all these are taught and he is made to do tapasya to get withdrawn from everything which is an atma. Then only is given sannyasa to identify with the atma. And in the sannyasa ashrama, when he is going on identifying with the self, one day it clicks to him, I am that infinite self which is all pervading. Then he is a mukta. So, what is the sentence? Listen one by one. Tasmat avidyadi karma upadana hetu nivruttau so atmani avasthanam moksha. What is moksha? Hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi. In the Bhagavatam 11th skand every day we are saying. So avidya karma hetu nivruttau so atmani avasthanam. By the removal of the hetu, you establish in the atma. Hetu of what? Avidya kama karma. And what is the cause of avidya kama karma? Vidya. What is how the avidya kama karma is removed? By the vidya. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So, tasmad avidyadi karma upadana hetu nivritto, so atmani avasthana moksha. So, avidya adi karma upadana hetu nivritto. So, we are caught up in karma phala. What is the cause of karma phala? Karma. What is the cause of karma? Kamana. What is the cause of kamana? Avidya. So, अविद्या आदि कर्म उपादान हेतु निवृत्त हो। अविद्या से शुरू होते हुए कर्म और कर्म का फल रूपी फल में फंसाने वाले इस हेतु को निकालने से, हाउ डू यू डू? अविद्या इज रिमूव्ड बाय विद्या, दैट्स इट। फ्रॉम दैट साइड इफ यू सी, कर्म इज जन्म का कामना, कामना इज जन्मित अविद्या, अविद्या रिमूव्ड बाय विद्या। सो अविद्या निवृत्ति हो गया तो विद्या के द्वारा देन व्हाट हैपेंस? स्व आत्मनि अवस्थानम। Such an interesting will happen that you will know what you are. You are infinite Sachidananda Atma. This is called moksha. Then Swayam cha Atma Brahma. Atma Avasthanam is moksha. Then again, it don't stop there. Is that self in me alone is self? What about the entire world and the beings and Rupanama? Are Baba, all that technically called as Brahma. That Brahma and Atma is one only. Atma cha Brahma. Next step is Tad Vijnanat Avidya Nivrutti. That's how when the Atma Jnana made into Brahma Jnana, after which other than Brahma there is nothing else is experienced. That is called Avidya Nivrutti. Iti, therefore, iti means because of this reason, ataha, therefore, Brahma Vidya Artha Upanishad Arabhyate. That is why to give us the Brahma Vidya, the Upanishad begins. See, if we are little interested, by shifting all these sentences, आगे से पीछे पीछे से आगे, we can get such a clarity. So what is the clarity if you reverse from here? What is Upanishad teaching? Brahma Vidya. What is the Brahma Vidya? Discovering that I am the Brahman. What is the discovery of I am? I am the self and not self. Why I became the not self? Because the avidya. What the avidya did? Created individuality, jiva bhava in me. What did the individuality do? Identified with this panchakosha. After that, what happened to it? It found itself to be very limited. Then when it is limited, what it was feeling like that? Wanting to infinite. That want is called desire. Then how it is thinking to become infinite? How it is wanting to fulfill the desire of wanting to become infinite? When it looked out, it saw the world. Therefore, toward the worldly things and beings which are appearing as other than him, toward them he has got desire. देखो आत्मा का डिजायर नहीं होता, अनात्मा का बिना डिजायर नहीं रह सकता. So Jagat is seen as an Atma, therefore the desire for the Jagat. When the Jagat is discovered with Atma, there is no more desire of the Jagat. This is another track of discussion. So here, from here we came to the Brahma Prapti, which is taught in the Upanishad. And from here also again we go back. That way, दो चार बार आप सोचोगे, तो the picture will very clearly come. That Upanishad is teaching Brahma Vidya, that Brahma Vidya is Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti, that Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti is the substrate of the entire universe. Before that, the substrate of this Panchakoshas called as Atma Anubhuti. The Atma Anubhuti is gained, which is already eternally there, by removing my Anatma Anubhuti that I am Jiva Ityadi. That I am Jiva Osmi Itya Anatma Anubhuti is coming because of Avidya. So the Avidya is removed by Vidya. In the Vidya, the Shravana Manana are there. The more Shravana Manana Ityadi we do about the Vidyamana Atma, like the more we do the Shravana about the existing rope, to that extent, the non existing but appearing snake's illusion goes away. And with direct some personal contact or experimentation, when you touch it and realize the rope, at the very moment you know there is no snake. There was never a snake. In that rope and snake example. In the same way, in the Shastra also, Paddhati followed is the same one. And then, other than this pursuit of the Atma Vidya to remove the Avidya and remove the Jiva Bhava, all things are intensifying my Jiva Bhava, intensifying my Upaditadatma, increasing my quantity of desire. So, all of them are doing what? Thickening my Avidya only. What is thickening of avidya here? He is not even available for a guru to be told that बेटा तू अंदर बैठा हुआ आत्मा है, तो जीव देह नहीं है. इवन उसको सुनने के लिए भी तैयार नहीं है. That much avidya. All of us are in that only. The thick layer of avidya that we say, no, Vedant मेरे को नहीं सुनना. The liberating Vedanta doesn't listen means how much is caught up in avidya. Avidya is leading to kama karma phala, and these three are strengthening the avidya. In this way, avidya janita, kama karma phala janita, samsara only. All of us are, remember, moment to moment, hour to hour, day in and day out, life to other life. We are only involving in that only. Never rejecting or ejecting out of this entire drama to be one with that infinite. Luckily that the self is there which is infinite, which is blissful. नहीं तो सारा वेदांत ही गड़बड़ होता. वेदांत तो जो परमात्मा जो भाव रूप है उसके बारे में बता रहा है. Now in this next mantra or the explanation here, Upanishad is defined. Okay. Then Upanishad is defined means explained what is Upanishad. It will take some 15-20 minutes. Today I will chant it and literal meaning I will tell you. Tomorrow we will complete this thoroughly because very essential it is. Then we enter into the first Anuvaka, which is Shanti Mantra. Shanno Mitra Ityadi. So beautifully Bhagavan Adi Shankara defines every word, explains every word. What is the Sham? What is Mitraha? Arunaha? Vayuhu? Namo Brahmane? So beautiful and so essential they are. In fact, this Upanishad is though talks about Brahma Vidya. Remember, to be qualified to do the Brahma Vidya Vichar and know the truth, whatever the qualifications, abilities required, they are all achieved through the grace. Therefore, lot of the mantras here are of Upasana type. It starts with the Shanti Mantra only. इस उपनिषद में जितने उपासनाएं हैं इसी उपनिषद में नहीं. उपासना, धर्माचरण, proper conduct in the world, all of them as much they are in this Upanishad. Nowhere. In other Upanishad, it is taken for granted that the disciple has finished all of them. Is a paka hua hai, fully is pakwa, but is pura, what do you call it? Fructified. He can be direct given Brahma Vidya. That's what in all. In this Upanishad, aisa nahi hai. Disciple is taken as if he is absolutely raw. Today only he came. From that scratch onwards, it is taught. You can see, Shiksha Vyakya Syama means इसको A B C D A E सिखा रहे हैं. फिर सारे उपासनाएं दिखाएं, फिर मातृदेव पितृभाव ये सब सिखाएं. Then the Brahma Vidya. This Upanishad that way, if one has time to study 1-2 years, it will take exhaustively with Bhashya and Vartika. Vartika of the Sureshwara and Bhashya Shankara. When you study 2-3 years, no other Upanishad need be studied, no other sadhana need be known. सब इसमें होता है. That's the Gambhirata of the Rishi Munis who have in a capsule form have given us this Upanishad and throwing a challenge in front of us. If you think you are really intelligent, find what I said in the Upanishad. And very intelligent people find it. The intelligent most is Shankara. Along with his intelligence, he has got Karuna also. Therefore, his discovery put to us in the form of Bhashya. So, what is the meaning here? See, Upanishad iti vidya uchyate. Upanishad means it's a vidya. It is a cognition. It is a realization. It is an experience. So, not a book, not the mantras of the book, not the meaning of the words of the mantras of the book. This is very crucial thing, which is so crucial. If that is missed, then we become like any other philosopher who is only counting the number of classes attended, number of the Upanishads studied, and Upanishads studied how many times, and from how many masters. Are there not people who are regular satsangi? They go to any Mahatma coming to the town and listen every Shastra, and they have an account made also. These are the 23 masters or I have heard from. From each master, these are the texts I have heard. ये सब कुछ है बट इनको अंदर कोई बदलाव ही नहीं है. Because he took the Brahma Vidya or Upanishad means only book or bookish knowledge. So that is thwarted and refuted in the very first sentence of his explanation what is Upanishad. And more elaborately, the meaning of Upanishad is mentioned in Katha Upanishad. कल उसका इसका दोनों जोड़कर पूरा हम पढ़ेंगे. So Upanishad Shabdena iti Vidya Uchyate. And what happens when one through study of Upanishad gets the Upanishad Vidya? Result is shown. And if this result doesn't come, he has not gained the Vidya Upanishad. Then he has got information of Upanishad. He has got knowledge of the Upanishad. He got the details about the Upanishad. But he has never got benefit out of Upanishad. Tat शीलिनाम गर्भ जन्म जरादि निशातनात् तद अवसादनात् वा ब्रह्मणो वा उपनिगमयितृत्वात् उपनिषण्णं वा अस्यां परम श्रेयः इति तदर्थत्वात् ग्रन्थः अपि उपनिषत्. So I'll say in one sentence by lack of time, but tomorrow whole day we'll spend on this and also Shanno Mitra. What is one sentence saying is what? Upanishad is Brahma, Brahma is Anubhava. When you get the Anubhava, then only you can say कि Brahma is attained. Only when the Brahma Anubhava comes, then we can say that the Upanishad is studied. If Brahma Anubhava has not come, means Upanishad is not achieved. So Upanishad is not a book, not are the mantras or meaning of book, but it's Anubhava. Means what? If the Upanishad happens in you, peculiar word I am using. If the Upanishads happen in us, there is no more Garbha Janmadi Samsara. Means I recognize myself to be that eternal which need not be born, which need not grow, which need not do this or that, which need not gain this or that, which need not go here and there to enjoy that. That samsara rahitya moksha alone is Brahma Anubhuti, that alone is called as Upanishad. Very peculiar word it is. Upanishad iti vidya uchyate. It is an experience. Vidya means experience of that. Vidyamana vastuna anubhuti vidya. Vidya is experiencing that which is. So Upanishad is not a knowledge, understanding. Main Brahma hu. This understanding is not Upanishad. How much ever thoroughly you understood. But the anubhuti that I am Brahma, after which there is no samsara and jiva, that is called as Upanishad. So Upanishad कौन है फिर? मैं ही उपनिषद हूँ. In that way. Tomorrow all this will explain. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Samasta Upanishadacharyebhyo Namaha Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Vedavyasa Rishe Namaha Vaishampayana Rishe Namaha Yajnavalkya Rishe Namaha Tatsad Brahma Arpanamastu. 10 minutes we'll study our Vidurniti.